Hi everyone, this is audapostrophe. Let's check out Thundercade running on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original NES. 1 or 2 players, okay. Urgent instructions. Destroy enemies and the atomic power plant. Good luck. Oh, really, should I be destroying the atomic power plant? I would rather just contain it. I'm not sure I'm all that comfortable destroying that thing. That's right. Destroy the trees. Eventually just deforest them. Play the long game. It's kind of interesting music for a shmup. It's a little depressing. No. Damn you. That's right. In the arcade, it mattered which side you put your power-up attachment on. I think it matters here too. But it's a little less obvious. No, the boy. No, that was tough. I'm not screwing around with this game. Excuse me. Let's have my coughing just gets worse in the afternoon, and the mornings, and the evenings, occasionally at night as well. But other than that, you know, my coughing's fine. Seriously, what is this music? it's like so depressing. Oh, I lost one of my sidecars. No! Actually, kind of surprised that it respawns you right where you die. Not a whole lot of NES games did that. Holy crap. Yo, young whippersnapper copters. In my day, you faced your enemy. No, whoa, okay. Okay. Jeez. Not a great way to start, I would say. Where's the safe spot? Oh my gosh. Oh no, 3 continues! How dare you! Okay, that's one level. One level. Alright, let's try that again. Actually, more surprising is that it's a 2-player game. You know, again, for shmups on the NES, very uncommon. Oh, dead center. Oh, I got the car on the wrong side. Oh no. That was a bad decision. No. No. Oh, jeez, it's so bad. So bad at that. Excuse me. No. Seriously, this is like a soundtrack to some role-playing game. Ugh. Cough is so bad. Okay, we can do better this time. I mean, maybe. I lost my sidecar. My goodness. That's right. Not a tree nor tank will be left standing. They're all my enemies. was so tricky. Oh no. No, I just upgraded that. Oh no. Look at this. Cutting edge graphics. Still looks better than Halo Infinite. And less buggy. And it features 2-player co-op. Take that, Halo. Oh crap. Boy, you leave me alone. I only want to destroy you. I know, it's funny to think about how primitive a lot of NES games looked. I mean, you know, we're used to seeing, you know, revivals of like Mega Man, which was, you know, not how most NES games were presented. You know, most of them look like this. You know, Mega Man and Ninja Gaiden, you know, these older franchises that, you know, that still kind of go on today, they were always the exception and not the rule. I mean, this is why I'm really not all that fond of the NES, and it's not really my system. You know, my system is really the PC Engine. Oh, God. But, you know, there's like a ton of stuff that's only on the NES. You know, arcade conversions that just never, you know, it's unlikely they'll be on any sort of collection. Like, I don't know if anybody's going to really put Thundercade on their list of must emulate titles. And, so tough. Oh, a tough game. We got 3 continues too. But the arcade version was incredibly difficult too. The arcade one was kind of interesting too, in that you could find these ramps in the levels, and then you could you know jump your bike onto the top of a building. I mean that is not featured here, obviously. I never knew what the music sounded like. I do wonder if this is like really accurate to how the arcade sounded, because this is not like a very actiony shmup soundtrack. You know what I mean? It's hard to weave in and out of that. See, this is how you develop carpal tunnel. This is the game that gave it to us all. Or at least this era of gaming did. There's a hit-miss ratio too? Oh man, that is never going above 50. That is for sure. Alright, how far can we get? This is every Gen X kid, you know, that was playing games. This is what they grew up with. Saturday mornings, you know. Just play. Same levels, same enemies. Super basic gameplay. You know, occasionally, you know, people would get into something like Ultima or Final Fantasy when that came out. But this is it, you know. This is a lot of our childhoods. A lot of people making games now. This is how they spent their afternoons. In a way, it's hard to believe. Not to say, I actually not. I don't remember really liking the arcade version. It was just funky because you had to worry about the obstructions. You know, your player character had to worry about where the buildings were positioned. You couldn't just fly over everything, so it just made the game much harder. You know, and the game was already, you know, super difficult. But the animation was always cool. How the bike would, you know, leap over objects and stuff. Oh no, okay, I did not want that. Damn it. Only forward firing. And thankfully you don't have to defeat the boss. You can just wait it out. But that's largely unsatisfying. And I think to me this particular generation of gaming was the most disappointing because I was you know, and still am. I'm into shmups, and generally the NES didn't have very good shmups. It really wasn't until the the Super Nintendo, Genesis, and PC Engine era of gaming that shmups became really good, or at least comparable to their arcade counterparts. You know, obviously this is you know, nothing really representing the arcade, you know, intensity. The NES just wasn't capable of that. What the NES was good at was original games. You know, or just taking like a, you know, an arcade game character and making a different game out of it. You know, my examples being like Rygar and Strider. I mean, those are, you know, incredibly different games in the arcade, but they took those same characters in universe and put them in a different style game, and you know, now those are memorable. And, you know, and they may be the versions of the games that some people, you know, relate to the most. Maybe they never played those arcade games. Yeah, I think this one was just a favorite of mine growing up because it was so difficult. I mean, I don't even think I ever got past 1 or 2 stages. And this game in particular I never owned during the time of the NES. I do remember the game getting like really good reviews. You know, and I had really only played the arcade version, so, you know, when I saw the NES version, I was like, wow, this is not the same game, you know. I'm just bound to be disappointed since, you know, it just really wasn't possible to recreate that same fidelity in an NES game. You know, I look at this now and go, you know, they did this as well as they could. If you look at comparable games on the NES, comparable top-down shooters. You know, they were not necessarily any better than this. They certainly had the gameplay. You know, at its heart, it's a fun game. You know, it's also a game that demands you have some patience. Especially if you're a modern gamer and you're used to things scrolling by really fast and bullets being everywhere. You know, obviously you're not going to get that a system like this. You would get something similar in a PC Engine. You know, and the you know, the Mega Drive and Genesis. You know, pretty good arcade representatives. Maybe not 100%. But usually, you know, much closer to an arcade game. Oh my god. That's my sidecar. My romance car. Ah, yeah. Yeah, and of course these days, I mean, if you wanted rapid fire, you had to buy a separate controller, which was, you know, tremendously expensive. I mean, we think of like controllers being, you know, within the reach. I think a lot of people. Not something that would, you know, require like a massive expense, but yeah. I think the NES Advantage was about the same price as a regular controller now. I think it was like $50 or $60, but you know, that was a lot. You didn't earn that much money back in the you know, late 80s, early 90s. The minimum wage was like $1 and like $1.04 or something. That was my earliest memory. If you're doing well, you know, you might be making you know, $5 or $6 an hour. You know, especially if you weren't an engineer and you didn't have any sort of higher education. I think my first job was being like a busboy at like the Red Lion. Well, I think they call them DoubleTrees now. I think back then I was earning $9.25. Oh no, it was less than that. I think it was like $6.25. That was how I was feeding my gaming habit in high school. You can imagine a $50 game, and you're only earning $6.25 an hour. You're not gonna buy a whole lot of games. So you had to really treasure what you had, and you were very particular what kind of games that you could buy. No internet back then, so you depended on game magazines, and sometimes these game magazines would lead you astray. Like, I'm not sure if I would have been happy with this if I would have bought this at the in the heyday of the NES. I mean, it's really hard to say. Like, where do you hit this thing? It's just bouncing all around. Well, this is a pretty impressive enemy. I mean, it's large, especially for an NES game. I mean, it's just a background object, you know, obviously, but still, I had to stitch together a couple of backgrounds to get this in here. That's not bad engineering. Oh, you... oh, no. Look at how hard that is. It's so ridiculous. Oh, we're all the way back here? Oh, God, that was just a mini-boss. It wasn't even a main boss. I mean, the good thing about the NES is that those patterns are exactly the same, so if you had a good memory, you could just memorize your way through the game. But that was never a strong suit for me. I do eventually memorize things, but it does take a little longer for me, especially now. This thing is tough. Uh-oh, bonus game, what? Oh, I want to get those. Oh, well, silly, I had no idea what even to do. Alright, first area. Is it just the one song for the game? Oh man. That's what it's looking like. What am I shooting here? Cactuses? What? Assuming those are landmines. Oh, she's behind you, huh? What a jerk. Look at that, the NES version of a bullet hell. No, son of a bitch. No, game over. Why? Now I'm playing. Now we're being serious here. And get through this game. Can't let this game beat me. I mean, it could, and probably will. It's pretty hard. It's hard for a man to admit how much harder something is than him. You know? He's got balls on it. Oh no! It's gonna be a bad run. You can't lose any lives on the first level. You really can't lose any lives on the first 3 levels. Under ideal conditions. Oh, son of a bitch. Keep losing my sidecars. Like I said, it's amazing to think how far we've come in graphics and and gameplay. Well, I don't know if this was ever like a really, really big hit. I don't think I knew anybody who owned this game. Not that my limited number of friends could dictate how well a game did across the world, but I think when I talked about this, I was like the only person that even heard of it. Son of a bitch. No. Oh, that's just a bad run. Unless by some miracle I managed to not die at all. For another, 6 levels, I probably shouldn't continue this game. I picked up a couple of games today, so I'll have to see which one we're going to play after this. Like I said, this is interesting after playing the arcade game for so long. It is super interesting to see what they had to do for the NES version. Screwed it up again. I have to put it on the left or the right side. Immediately lose my sidecar. Excuse me. Whoa, okay. I think I read a review of this game in my Game Pro, which at the time was, you know, really just a marketing arm for game companies. You know, they really didn't have real reviews. And certainly at the time, they didn't keep number scores of reviews when this game came out. I remember that review being pretty glowing of the game. Again, you know, I don't know if I would have been like totally happy with this as a kid. I mean, probably. I mean, moving and shooting. Usually the only things I really need. Terrible. Alright, why don't we stop it there? We managed to get past one area. This is audap. You've been watching Thundercade running on the original NES. Yeah, I mean, it is a you know, is a mere shadow of the original arcade game, of course. But you know, I think for the NES, it's not bad. You know, probably could have been done a little bit better. But I don't imagine this thing had a memory mapper chip or anything like that. You know, it's probably at a much lower budget. So you know, this might be as good as it can be done for this particular kind of game. But yeah, check it out. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Thundercade. Again, I remember like the reviews being good for it when it came out. The arcade game was fairly popular. But the NES game, not really sure how people feel about it. I think it's all right. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't be paying too much for this game. But I also, yeah, there's certainly worse top-down shooters on the NES. So not going to be too bad on this one. And it is a two-player game, which is, again, not that common in the NES library. Check it out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.